Iran is hitting back, and it's hitting back hard. Missiles and drones rain down on American bases across Middle East. Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, Bahrain. Iran is not just responding, it's taking the war to America's front door. The Gulf is burning, airspace is closed, and this escalation is far from over. Iran has taken the war to America's doorstep, launching a large-scale wave of missile and drone strikes against US military bases across the Middle East in retaliation for the joint US-Israeli offensive that struck Tehran earlier in the day. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps confirmed the strikes, targeting 4 American installations: Al-Udeid Air Base in Qatar, Al-Salem Air Base in Kuwait, Al-Dhafra Air Base in the UAE, and the US Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. Explosions were also reported in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and in Urmia in western Iran, where Israel said it was conducting a broad strike on military targets. Iran's foreign ministry left no ambiguity about where it stood.
The renewed military aggression by the United States and the Zionist regime against Iran constitutes a violation of international law and the principles of the United Nations Charter. The Islamic Republic of Iran considers this aggression a clear breach of international peace and security and emphasizes that it reserves its legitimate right to respond decisively. History shows that Iranians have never surrendered to aggression. This time as well, Iran's response will be decisive, and aggressors will regret their hostile actions.
Explosions were reported in all 4 countries within the space of an hour, with sirens activated in Kuwait and smoke rising from the Dhafra area of Manama, where the naval base is located. Qatar's defense ministry said its Patriot systems intercepted all incoming missiles before they reached Qatari territory, though explosions were still heard across Doha shortly after.
All missiles were intercepted before reaching Qatari territory.
In Iraq, at least 2 Hashid Shabi fighters have been killed and 3 seriously wounded following airstrikes in Jurf al-Sakar, south of Baghdad, while in Abu Dhabi. At least 1 person was killed after the UAE intercepted several Iranian missiles, with the country condemning what it called a flagrant violation of national sovereignty. Meanwhile, Qatar, Kuwait, and the UAE have closed their airspace as the strikes spread across the region. Qatar Airways suspended all flights, and Turkish Airlines cancelled services to 10 countries, including Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, and the Gulf states. The scale of Iran's retaliation went well beyond what many had anticipated. Iran's Supreme National Security Council said the attacks targeted the country during negotiations, accusing Washington and Tel Aviv of using diplomacy as cover for military planning, a charge Russia's Dmitry Medvedev echoed, saying the nuclear talks were never anything more than, in his words, a cover operation. With US bases struck, airspace shut across the Gulf, and explosions still being reported, the Middle East on February 28th looks very different to how it did at dawn. Explosions rocked northern Israel as Iranian missiles came streaking across the border, hours after the US and Israel launched a joint offensive against Tehran. The Israeli military confirmed the incoming fire, warning citizens that air defenses were working to intercept the missiles, but cautioning that the shield was not impenetrable. The army was quoted by Al Jazeera as saying that
an additional barrage of missiles was launched toward Israel.
Iran's IRGC later confirmed that it has launched missiles and drones towards Israel following the US-Israeli attacks.
In response to the aggression of the hostile and criminal enemy against the Islamic Republic of Iran, the first wave of extensive missile and drone attacks by the Islamic Republic of Iran towards the occupied territories has begun.
Meanwhile, Iran's state television said Tehran was preparing to take revenge on Israel and deliver what it called a strong response as the confrontation between the two countries deepened into open warfare.
An hour ago, Israel and the United States set out for a joint campaign, Operation Lion's Roar. The objective of the operation is to put an end to the threat posed by the Israeli regime in Iran. At this time, the IDF is attacking the objectives of this regime, the bases of the Revolutionary Guards, and, together with the U.S. Army, the sites of ballistic missiles that threaten both Israel and the U.S. forces.
U.S. President Trump, speaking from Washington, was equally unambiguous.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world.
Back in Israel, Netanyahu warned that a nuclear-armed Iran would spell destruction for Israel and leave the country with no means to defend itself. Doing nothing, he argued, was the greater danger.
Iran is eager to rebuild their nuclear and missile capabilities and to plant them underground, where we will not be able to harm them. If we do not stop them now, they will become untraceable. And in the name of this, their representatives in the negotiations are trying to buy time with our American friends.
According to Al Jazeera, strikes have hit Tehran along with Kermanshah, Loristan, Tabriz, Isfahan, and Karaj. Reports from Tehran suggest the district of Pasteur, home to the presidential palace, was also struck, with people wounded in the area being taken to hospital. No senior Iranian official has been confirmed killed. According to Al Jazeera, Iranian officials were the main target of the first wave of the strikes on Iran. An Israeli source tells Channel 12 of very significant harm to senior figures in the Iranian regime and indications of direct hits. Internet connectivity across Iran has dropped to 54% of normal levels, according to the monitoring group NetBlocks, as state outlet IRNA battles cyber attacks that have left its website unreachable. A US official told Reuters the military is planning a multi-day operation, significantly broader than the single strike scenarios discussed in the days prior. Netanyahu also spoke directly to the Iranian people, telling them the time had come to break free from what he called the murderous grip of the Ayatollahs.
We have a common enemy, the murderous regime of the Ayatollahs, which took over you through the forces of oppression of the Revolutionary Guards and the Basiji. They are the ones who destroyed your wonderful country, destroyed it to the core. They are the ones who slaughtered protesters in front of you.
The offensive comes days after both sides wrapped up nuclear talks in Geneva, the second time US-Israeli strikes have cut across active diplomacy with Tehran.